New tonight, teen suicide rates in Arizona are higher than the national average. And right now, one teacher is worried about the behaviors he's seeing in some students who may be struggling right now. Kim Powell in our newsroom with more tonight. Kim?
Jared, this teacher I talked to said he's noticed more kids acting out in various ways, and they're quick to tears or arguments. He thinks a lot of it has to do with the environment of the nation right now, with arguments over masks and vaccines, and of course, trying to return to some normalcy.
Kids are absorbing everything around them. They are learning, they are sponges, and they're soaking up everything.
Tim Warnock is a PE teacher in the East Valley, but he's also a father who lost his son to suicide in 2016. In his grief, he helped draft the Mitch Warnock Act, which requires all school staff members in Arizona to take suicide prevention training.
We made some strides with the different legislations that were passed. We were really seeing, at least we stopped digging the ditch. And we started to try to look how to get out of it.
But then the pandemic hit.
The vast majority of teachers desperately wanted that information. They wanted to know how to handle things, but then they weren't with their students. Suddenly we get shut down. Kids are isolated.
He says before the pandemic, there was an epidemic of childhood depression, suicide, and anxiety, and that certainly hasn't gone away. Warnock said he's heard of at least 3 student suicides in the East Valley within the last 2 weeks.
There's so many factors pancaking onto the kids right now that are making this much worse.
The National Alliance of Mental Illness says 17% of high school students seriously considered taking their life last year. Warnock says we have to look at more than just suicide completions.
Although it's a big number that's not acceptable, that is a small number compared to the bigger number of kids who have attempted. And that number is smaller than the number of kids who have a plan.
He says in the midst of frustrations and chaos in the world, it's important to not lose sight of what's most important.
We are going to be okay. This is going to really shake us around for a little bit and knock us up and down, but we will get through this.
Teen Lifeline says they've had a 30% increase in calls and texts from last year to this year when comparing January through August. And 30% of the calls and texts are from teens struggling with thoughts of suicide, which is the single largest call category. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm Kim Powell for Arizona's Family.